So you memorize the vocabulary, you drill the grammar, you construct the absolutely perfect sentence in your head, like, how have you been? And then you actually open your mouth to speak.
And a total mess of ums and likes comes out.
Exactly. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at this huge stack of English learning materials today. I mean, we've got everything from podcast transcripts on filler words to actual real-world scenario guides.
Yeah, and the mission here is to really decode what it actually takes to sound natural in everyday English. We're moving way beyond just stiff textbook grammar.
Because it's all about real-world fluency, right?
Yeah.
And let's just jump straight into the basics of social interaction. You start with those traditional greetings from the sources, but then you immediately realize that speakers actually think out loud.
Right, using those exact filler words we just joked about.
But wait, I have to ask, aren't words like, basically considered bad English? Like, if I use them in a classroom, I'm getting points docked for making a mistake.
Well, traditionally, sure.
Yeah.
But the sources actually clarify that filler words are essential thinking sounds.
Essential.
Yeah, they prevent you from sounding like a pre-programmed robot, If you strick them out completely, your speech actually becomes unnerving to native speakers.
Oh, wow. So using a filler word is basically like hitting the clutch in a manual car. It disconnects the engine of your mouth for a split second so your brain can shift gears into the next thought without just stalling out completely.
That is such a good way to put it. They highlight specific uses, too. Like, starting a sentence with well is a really wonderful way to soften a complex answer.
It signals that a simple yes or no isn't coming.
Exactly. And, it is completely acceptable for approximations. Saying something costs like $50.
But there has to be a limit, right? If I say like 5 times in a single sentence, I'm going to stop sounding conversational and just start sounding, well, completely unsure of myself.
Oh, for sure. It's a balance. Used correctly, it's a micropause. Overused, it's a crutch.
Right. And now that we understand this sort of conversational glue, let's look at how to apply it in the wild. Because navigating a crowded coffee shop takes a lot of real-time processing.
It really does, which is why the sources emphasize learning specific situational scripts for those real-world environments.
It's kind of like memorizing the rules of a board game, right? Like once you know the mechanics, you don't have to stress about them, and you can actually just enjoy playing the game.
That's a great analogy. When you walk up to a stranger in a cafe, you don't want to invent a sentence from scratch. You rely on the script, like asking, is this seat taken?
It just offloads all that cognitive work. You don't have to think about grammar when you're ordering the Thai chicken at a restaurant.
Exactly. Or when you're navigating a movie theater.
Okay, speaking of the theater examples from the text, there's some really specific cinema vocabulary there. Why do native speakers ask, can I squeeze past in the aisle, instead of just telling someone to move?
Well, notice the verb choice there. Squeeze or slip. They're verbs of physical minimization.
So you're using language to make yourself seem physically smaller.
Yes. You're reducing your perceived footprint in a crowded aisle to maintain politeness and just avoid a confrontation.
That is wild. It's not just about knowing the translation for move, it's understanding the whole social contract of the space.
Precisely. And similarly, the texts point out the difference between asking what time a movie is showing versus if it's playing.
Oh, right. Because playing refers to the theater's general roster, but showing locks into a specific screening time.
You got it. The vocabulary directly reflects the logistical need of that specific moment.
Okay, so once those logistical scripts are automatic, your brain frees up space to do the absolute hardest thing in any language.
Injecting personality.
Yes. And the answer to that is humor and idioms. The sources have these great jokes like, why was the math book sad? Because it had too many problems.
And my personal favorite, why don't skeletons fight? They don't have the guts. So good. But why do the experts connect this to the bigger picture of fluency? I mean, a beginner could just memorize that the word guts means both internal organs and courage.
Right, but knowing the definition is one thing. Processing both meanings simultaneously is the ultimate test of true fluency.
Because it requires such a massive cognitive load in real time.
Exactly. To actually find the joke funny, your brain has to instantly recognize the physical definition, the idiomatic meaning, and the cultural context that bridges them, all in a split second.
Wow. It proves you aren't just translating word by word anymore, you're actually grasping the cultural context.
Yeah, you're fully immersed.
So, to summarize the key takeaways for you listening today, Embrace those natural filler words to sound human, master your situational scripts, and really try to engage with the language's humor.
Because true fluency really isn't about perfection, it's about adaptability. Absolutely. And we will leave you with this final thought to ponder today. If true fluency is unlocked by understanding a language's double meanings and jokes, what does the untranslatable humor in your own native language reveal about your culture?